Hello, everyone. Today, I will share with you what Bruce Lee wrote about the meaning of Gung Fu in a manuscript he intended to publish in 1965 under the title The Tao of Gung Fu.
Every technique became part of an infinite and uninterrupted whole, free from contradictions. Every movement was stripped down to its essential purpose, eliminating any wasteful or meaningless motion. This transformation was heavily influenced by the ideals of Taoism, Zen, and the I Ching. The term Gung Fu means training or work, but in the world of martial arts, it refers to the discipline and training required to follow the path toward one's goal, whether that goal is health, spiritual cultivation, or self-defense. Geographically, Chinese Gung Fu has been divided into northern and southern styles and still is today. Northern styles are generally known for their kicks, often high or flying kicks, and their emphasis on fighting at a distance. Southern styles, on the other hand, are famous for the close-range hand-to-hand combat. Of course, there are exceptions. Gung Fu is an umbrella term encompassing all martial arts styles in China, such as Hung Gar, Tai Chi, White Crane, Wing Chun, and Praying Mantis. One might claim to know the Hung Gar or Li Gar styles, but one cannot claim to know Gung Fu in its entirety. This is because the term encompasses every style and technique, including 72 joint locks, 36 throwing techniques, and the use of 18 different weapons. There is no one alive today who knows and can master all of Gung Fu. The 3 stages of training. Training in Gung Fu consists of 3 stages: the primitive stage, the art stage, and the artless stage. The primitive stage is when a person has no knowledge of combat techniques. In a fight, they instinctively block or strike without any real understanding. The art stage begins when a person starts formal Gung Fu training. Through lessons, they learn different blocking and striking techniques, forms, stances, kicks, and more. They undoubtedly gain scientific knowledge of combat, but in the process, they lose their sense of self and freedom. At this stage, the mind stops to analyze and calculate movements before acting. Their actions no longer flow naturally. The artless stage occurs when their training reaches full maturity. Their techniques are executed almost unconsciously, without the interference of the mind. It is no longer, I hit, but rather, it hits naturally. This is the stage of ignorance after training. To put it another way, before I learned martial arts, a punch was just a punch, and a kick was just a kick. After learning martial arts, a punch was no longer just a punch, and a kick was no longer just a kick. But now that I truly understand martial arts, a punch is once again just a punch, and a kick is once again just a kick. These 3 stages apply to different Gung Fu systems as well. Some styles are fairly primitive, using basic blocking and striking techniques without much flow or combination. Other more refined, with the opponent's movement, pivoting or running in a circular motion to escape, assuming, of course, that the opponent simply stands there and does nothing. Then they might counterattack, kick, lock a joint, or throw their opponent. However, the most straightforward way is simply to punch the opponent in the nose while they are still content holding your collar. This might seem too basic, lacking in technique, but practitioners of rigid styles are often either too intellectually or physically constrained to recognize the plain truth. Thus, we arrive at the philosophy of profound simplicity, a natural outcome born from highly sophisticated complexity and exhaustive experimentation. Every technique is stripped down to its essential purpose, executed with minimal movement and energy. There is no ornamentation, no waste. Everything becomes purely direct and logically self-evident. This stage of simplicity is neither basic nor primitive. it cannot be reached without first passing through the second stage. As mentioned earlier, the goal of Gung Fu is health, spiritual cultivation, and self-defense. To achieve these goals, its philosophy is rooted in the fundamental teachings of Taoism, Zen, and the I Ching. The focus is on harmonizing with nature and balancing yin and yang. The fundamental principle is not to dominate an opponent, but to achieve harmony with them. A Gung Fu practitioner does not resist the opponent's force but complements it, using it to protect themselves. To synchronize with an opponent's changing movements, one must first fully grasp the meaning of yin and yang, the very foundation of Gung Fu.